vibes. Thank you for vibing with me. How is everybody doing on this wonderful day? I will be going live for every single Minnesota Viking game with the scoreboard and everything. So if you are feeling the vibes, if you're a Viking fan, even if you're not a Viking fan, you're welcome to the YouTube family. Always say sports is designed to bring us together, not separate us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, baby. Now let's talk about the topic of this video. Did the Vikings fail JJ McCarthy, or is he just not good enough yet? Let me say that one more time. Did the Vikings fail JJ McCarthy, or is he not good enough yet? I think it's a combination of both, but not really the organizing. I don't think it's 50-50 split when it comes to both. I think both could be true depending on who you talk to, right? Depending on who you talk to, they're going to say one or the other, right? It's not an easy answer, but what I will say is this. When it comes to failing a quarterback, I don't think the Vikings really failed. I think they didn't understand what they got themselves into when they drafted JJ McCarthy. Meaning, they drafted a quarterback that was more of a, I don't want to say game manager, but a quarterback that didn't throw the ball as much. A quarterback that relied on a great defense and relied on a run game most of the time, right? No, I'm not saying he can't make the throw. I'm not saying he's not athletic. But they relied on, matter of fact, I think they settled when they drafted JJ McCarthy. You shouldn't have drafted a quarterback just to draft a quarterback when he's not your first choice. I look at it like this. If he's not your first or second choice in the NFL draft when it comes to the quarterback position, it's best to just stay away from that quarterback position in the draft, especially when you're drafting them in the first round. And when it comes to JJ McCarthy, you know, my mindset was I wanted the Vikings to trade up to get Drake May. The Patriots wasn't buying it. The Patriots said, no, we're not. I don't care how many first round picks you offer. We're drafting Drake May. And that's what the Patriots did. They drafted Drake May, right? Which was a great decision by them. So when they went and drafted JJ McCarthy, I just, prior to the draft, I'm like, I don't really want him as much because I just don't see it fit in this offense. And I'm sticking to it. What's going on, everybody? Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. My mindset was not that he can't make throws, not that he can't be a good quarterback one day. I looked at this type of offense that we have, and I said, this is not the guy that I feel like Kevin O'Connell and him, I don't think that will work out. Head coach and quarterback. So that's why I was leaning towards Williams. I was leaning towards Drake May. And those were my two top choices in that draft. What's going on, everybody? Alice, what's good with you? What's good with everybody in the building, man? So that was my mindset. And then I also looked at, all right, well, maybe he just played like that because that's what they wanted him to do. And that's what got the job done. And that's why he won the national championship in college. So I was like happy about that he could also make throws when he needed to make the throws. He can also run for a first down when he needs to run for a first down. So I looked at all of that. I said, all right, even though he wasn't my first choice at quarterback, and that shout out to Sarah, shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Even though he wasn't my first choice at quarterback in that 2024 NFL draft, I was being extra positive and saying, okay, I like that he has a winning spirit. I like that he has a no-quit mentality. But I was just rocking with it because we drafted him. I'm going to rock with whoever we draft. I'm going to stick with, right? Until I'm proven otherwise. I'm not going to say he sucks just because I'm not just going to do it. I'm going to see what he can do on the football field. So then we actually finally get to play him in his second year after sitting behind Sam Darnold. And shout out to everybody, but I'm going to get to the chat real shortly. After we played Sam Darnold for the 2024 NFL season and got us to the playoffs, we didn't win anything, but still, we got to the playoffs, and it looked like we're close, but not close enough, right? So then we let Sam Darnold go, and we had this man play in his second year, and the problem with it is it wasn't like a second year where he's not coming off an injury. Don't forget, he did tear his meniscus in his rookie season. In his first preseason game, he tore his meniscus, right? I never understood why. I don't understand. I don't understand why the hatred for the kid. I'm gonna get to that real shortly, Sarah. Matter of fact, I'll say it right now. I don't think it's a hatred for the kid. I think that there's two types of fans, right? There's three types of fans. There's neutral, that's like whatever happens, as long as he's the best for the job. I'm neutral, right? I don't really have no fight. I don't really care who the quarterback is, right? Then you got the fan that's like, all right, no matter what JJ McCarthy does wrong, it don't matter if he throws interception. It doesn't matter if he has a bad pass, overthrow a wide receiver, underthrow a wide receiver, just misses a play. I don't know, whatever. He can do no wrong because he's only 23 years old. Because he's the highest pick in Minnesota Vikings history when it comes to a quarterback. So you got those type of fans that's like, all right, I don't want to see no other quarterback but him, even if he's not doing the best. And I know he only played 10 games, right? But at the same time, they always talk about the good stuff that he did. The comeback against the Bears was amazing. Week 1, his first game of his career. But why did we have to make a comeback? We had to make a comeback because the offense was absolutely horrible. The offense was so bad. Oh my goodness, it was so bad. The first home game, was the first home game against the Bears? It was so bad, right? The problem with it is this. You can't, there's 4 quarters in a football game. Your offense can't be so stagnant to the point where you only can do it in one quarter, and that's the fourth quarter. Good luck trying to win a Super Bowl if you're only good at the fourth quarter at the end of the game trying to make a comeback. You're not going to score 3 touchdowns in a quarter to make comebacks every single game. And the crazy thing about it is our defense plays so well. I think it was against the Bears. Our defense played so freaking well that game. And we had to make a comeback because our offense was so horrible. I know the excuses are going to say offensive line wasn't good, play calling wasn't good, we didn't run the ball enough. I get it. But at the end of the day, when you're the head coach of a team, and listen, Kevin O'Connell, you already know how I feel about Kevin O'Connell. He don't run the ball enough. His play calling is horrible a lot of the time. But when you let a guy go that won a Super Bowl, that was good. I mean, not at that time, though. He didn't win a Super Bowl at that time. But a guy that got you 14 wins or helped you get 14 wins, and then you go from that to a quarterback that can't run your offense completely. Hey, listen, I can't imagine what Kevin O'Connell's thinking. So I don't really think it's hatred. And then you do got the people who are like, all right, no matter what, it don't matter what quarterback it is. JJ McCarthy sucks. We could play anybody. I'm cool with that. Which I don't think that's right either, but Kyler Murray, to me, is the better quarterback right now. And I'm not saying that JJ McCarthy can't be good one day, but Kyler Murray was the guy that should have won this job, because I just don't think that JJ McCarthy, first of all, I don't think he's ready. I just don't think he's ready. And on top of that, he had the playbook for 2 seasons, 2 years, and you're still not dramatically beating Kyler Murray in training camp. Like, he did have some good moments and bad moments, but it's like, dude, you should really know the playbook right now, bro. Like, everything should be on point. You should know the chemistry. You should have the chemistry with your wide receivers. And it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. Always felt like it was really raw and needed to sit a few years. That's the only problem is this, though, Sarah. You can't do that when you just won 14 games the first season with Sam Darnold. His first season, he got hurt and tore his meniscus. So, and then once you let Sam Darnold go, you had to play him. Who was you going to play? Because it would have been kind of like, all right, so you have this guy sitting behind Sam Darnold that got you 14 wins, and he sat behind him. Like, come on, it's time to show what you can do a little bit. Because who else is going to play? You're going to get another bridge quarterback? How many years does a quarterback have to sit so people could feel comfortable playing him? I'm not saying rush him, but it's not like he played his rookie season. He did not play his rookie season. He sat behind Sam Darnold. So it wasn't like he was like, all right, we drafted him, he played his rookie season, and he failed. No, he sat a year, right? And then when he finally did get the opportunity, it wasn't like people try to make, like, I seen comments saying that he was the GOAT. I see comments saying that he was so good in the games that he played. And I'm like, I watched every single game. I'm not saying he was absolutely horrible, but it wasn't impressive to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no reason why they should not bring in some quarterback competition in the room. No, he wasn't that impressive for people to feel like he's the GOAT after 10 games. You got the over-dramatic fans like, oh, he's so good after 10 games. If he was so good, in those 10 games, we should have won every damn, excuse my language, we should have won every dang on game if he was that good, if he was that impressive. Because the defense most of the time was good. We can't even talk about the defense. The defense was a top 3 defense. They finished top 3 defense. They were top 10 defense the whole entire season. So we can't even blame the dang on defense. We can't really even blame the special teams all like that. There was only like one kickoff return. We didn't really do good tackling them. And they got in field goal range and whatever. I think that was against the Bears. But other than that, it's like he wasn't that impressive to the point where, and it's like he's 23 years old. He has the potential, but he keeps getting hurt. And I'm not blaming him for the injuries, but it's like, dang, you got hurt on your rookie season. You come back the following season. You got a hairline fracture in your hand. You got a concussion. You got a high ankle sprain. It's like, my gosh. It's like, I know that our offensive line ain't the best. I know last year it was horrible and the play calling was horrible, but it's like, I don't know how a head coach his job is on the line, how he can risk it all for a quarterback that hasn't done enough. It is mostly, in my opinion, because he keeps getting hurt. He's not like he's in his 30s and he's getting hurt, or his late 30s getting hurt. He's in his 20s and he keeps getting hurt. He keeps getting hurt. He got hurt in the preseason game, his rookie season. That was a torment. It's like, it's just always something. But then it's like, I look at it like this. When it comes to the Kyler Murray people, right? That's like, Kyler Murray sucks and all this other stuff, right? It's like, all right, he didn't win any Super Bowls. Of course, you're not going to get a quarterback that won a Super Bowl, first of all. We're not going to be able to trade for a quarterback or sign a quarterback that won a Super Bowl. That's still, what is he, 29, 30? You're not going to get him, right? Oh, well, he hasn't done nothing. He's always hurt as well. Okay, that's a fact. He's always hurt. He gets hurt a lot as well. But he did make the Pro Bowl. He did have some good seasons as a professional starting quarterback. And he never had a team that the Vikings have right now. I don't think there's one team that Kyler Murray has had in his career that looks as good as the Vikings. on paper. He never had, I'm talking about as a whole. I'm talking about a top 10 defense, which he has right now with the Vikings. Well, it was last year. We'll know about this year. He never had a top 10 defense. He never had a top 3 defense. He never had a good defense behind him. The Cardinals never had a good defense. And then he didn't have, I could say 3 very good wide receivers on his team. He has 3 very good wide receivers on his team. We'll see how we run the ball. But he didn't have all this. He has a better overall team with the Vikings than when he had with the Cardinals. So everybody's saying, oh, well, he didn't do good with the Cardinals. Why do you expect him to do good with the Vikings? It's a whole nother team. It's a whole nother organization. It's different play calling. It's et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You got to see what he can do. We're going to see. You know, if the offensive line can stay healthy, we can see what happens. But even if the offensive line isn't completely healthy, I still feel like this offense is still going to be better than ranked 28th in total offense. Our offense was brutal to watch all season long. It was like scratching on a chalkboard with your bare fingernails every time they get the ball offensively because they don't move the ball down the field. You know what I mean? It was horrible. It's a true statement. I always thought it was massive overreach to take him at 10. Yeah, like I just feel like when it comes to the draft, I just feel like they just were desperate. If he's not your first or second option, you don't go with your third or fourth. And I'm not saying that he is the third option, but it didn't look like he was, it didn't seem like they really wanted him. It didn't seem like it. I think they just grabbed the quarterback because of the pressure of the fan base. What's going on, Barber? If people had to put up with hearing all the hype, people saying that this kid's going to win at least a couple of Super Bowls for the Vikings, then you have the right to say he doesn't look good. Yeah. And if you say he doesn't look good, you're not a Viking fan, or you're just being extra negative. Man, I said he's not impressive, bro. He was not impressive enough for Viking fans to say that no matter what, he should be the starter. Is it just about one player, or is it about the whole team? I mean, goodness. I mean, is it about one player, or is it about the whole team? Because when you think about it, right, I got to say this again. We wasted a great year defensively because our offense was so horrible. And I'm not blaming it all on JJ McCarthy. That's not fair to do that. But he does get a lot of the responsibility. He is the quarterback. You know what I mean? He's the quarterback. Just like he'll get all the praise if they win or if he makes a good throw. He has to get blamed for the bad things as well. It's the good things. Like, it can't just be one way, one-sided. Yeah, everything he does good we talk about, but when he does bad things, we had to come up with an excuse. Here's why he claimed Vikings fans are rooting for Murray to get hurt. Yeah, there's actually Viking fans that are saying, I can't wait until the season starts so Kyler Murray can get hurt. Like, come on, people. Like, are we that immature? Like, we have to root for our own team, our own quarterback to get hurt because you like JJ McCarthy? So what if it does happen and Kyler Murray does get hurt? And what if JJ McCarthy looks horrible? Then what y'all all going to say? What if Kyler Murray was playing really good at the time, he gets hurt, and then JJ McCarthy comes in the game and just looks horrible? Then what are people going to say? My thought has always been, let him sit and develop. Yeah. I think everything changed, Sarah, when Sam Darnold had that 14-win season with us, and they were overly hyping JJ McCarthy, like, oh, he's so good and he's ready to start. They were hyping up training camp. He's 15 of 15, no incomplete passes, and et cetera, et cetera. I think they overly hyped how ready he was, and he wasn't ready. And if he's supposed to sit for 3 years, that's what they should have. That's what they should have said from the very beginning. Not say he's the starter before he has proven anything, just because Sam Darnold went to the Seahawks. Kevin O'Connor screwed up by announcing our franchise quarterback years too early. If ever I blame Kevin, not JJ McCarthy. If JJ McCarthy doesn't work out, fine. Remember, Jordan Love sat for 3 years. I know, I get that comparison, bro, and I like that comparison, and I like what Sarah's saying as well. But at the same time, y'all have to talk about how we even got into this situation. We let a quarterback go that ran this offense. I'm not going to say perfectly, but he ran the offense very good in Sam Darnold. After that, you can't. All right, so what you going to do? You going to try to go sign another bridge quarterback for 2 more years so JJ McCarthy can sit another 2 years? Or are you going to try to be like, all right, we have some of the best offensive talent. We have a solid defense. It wasn't like JJ McCarthy didn't have nothing that was good for him last season. I understand the offensive line was horrible. I understand the play calling was horrible, which is I feel for him. He's a young quarterback trying to make up for all that. But he had one of the best defenses behind him. And I'm just saying, man, like, audible out them sucky plays, man. Audible out them sucky, stupid plays that Kevin O'Connor was calling. Like, we're going to run the ball. We're going to throw short slants. We're going to throw some, listen, you know what I mean? I blame both. I'm not going to give all the credit, all the blame to Kevin O'Connell. I'm not going to give all the blame to JJ McCarthy because JJ McCarthy got hurt. If it wasn't for his injury, I still believe if it wasn't for JJ McCarthy's injury, we would have made the playoffs. He gets hurt too much, y'all. He's been hurt so many times, and he's only 23 years old. And that's what I keep hearing. He's 23. He's so young. You're giving up on a 23-year-old. The guy's getting hurt like he's in his late 30s. He's getting hurt all the freaking time. He come in the game, and I'm not wishing nothing. I'm just being honest. He gets hurt. He got hurt his first preseason game. His first game with competition in the NFL, this man tore his meniscus, y'all. That's not a small little injury. Like, I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? Well, like I said, there's people that's going to say JJ McCarthy could do no wrong. There's people that's going to say JJ McCarthy is all his fault. There has to be some type of middle ground. And now I'm hearing that people are wishing injury on Kyler Murray just because they like JJ McCarthy that much. What has JJ McCarthy done to make you feel like he's the perfect quarterback for this team? Like, he hasn't done enough because he hasn't played enough due to injuries. So how can you want to wish injury on a Kyler Murray? We talk about hate for JJ McCarthy. What about the hate for Kyler Murray? How is the fan base so I guess some of the fan base, not all, some of the fan base so hateful towards a quarterback that signed the bare minimum to come to your team? And yeah, it was disrespectful in a way. He said, I'm coming to the Vikings because I don't think JJ McCarthy has a chance to beat me. I said it. I said, he coming to the Vikings. He had other choices. He came to the Vikings. He said, I have a chance to be the starting quarterback on the Vikings because I don't think JJ McCarthy is that good. And I mean, and plus, you know, Kevin O'Connell probably doesn't really mess with JJ McCarthy, but I'm just saying, man, JJ McCarthy going to have to use this as motivation. He's going to have to play good in preseason. Because if he looks horrible in preseason, man, no matter what the Vikings do, there will always be hate for us. If we win the Super Bowl, they will say we cheated. Oh my gosh, don't say that, bro. You said they'll say we cheated if we win the Super Bowl. Hey, listen, if they do that, bro, I don't care what they say. We win a Super Bowl. I don't care what nobody says, man. Forget every fan base out there, man. Anybody that says got something to say, anybody that got something to say about the Vikings winning a Super Bowl, they can kick rocks, bro. It is what it is. Vikings for life, man. It is what it is. I don't even care. Listen, we win a Super Bowl. Hey, listen, I'm flying to Minnesota right then and there, baby. Don't get me hype. Yeah, don't get me hype. But it's like, well, how is the fan base like so hateful towards a quarterback that is like, all right, because we talk about JJ McCarthy hate. Yeah, I agree. It's messed up. Oh, he sucks. I'm not saying he sucks, but he wasn't impressive, in my honest opinion, for people to feel like he's the GOAT. Because I've seen comments where I've seen a lot of love for JJ McCarthy as well. He's the GOAT. I seen comments saying he was the GOAT, y'all. I ain't never, listen, respectfully, if JJ McCarthy is the GOAT, and I'm not saying he won't ever be good one day, but if he's the GOAT now, I say this respectfully, y'all, our standards for quarterback is super low. If that's considered GOAT performances last season, and I watched every single game, I didn't miss one game last season. If that's considered GOAT performances, we're in trouble when it comes to how our standards are when it comes to quarterback play. Please, man, don't say that's the GOAT. Not yet. He got to prove a lot more than just 10 games. You know what I mean? For real. All right, brother. Hey, brother. I'm fine with Kyler starting if JJ McCarthy is the quarterback next. JJ McCarthy, the quarterback that everyone says he is. I hope this lights a fire. Yeah, but it's just crazy, and I agree with that comment, Sarah. I don't like the fact that people are actually cheering for injury. Like, I can't believe people are I didn't hear that, but I'm reading the comments. I'm not saying that you're not, whoever said that, I'm not saying that you're saying that's true. That's not true. But if you're cheering for Kyler Murray to get hurt because you want JJ McCarthy to be the starter, that is corny. You're a whack fan. You're not a real fan of the Vikings. You're not a real fan. You're not a real fan at all. You want your quarterback to get hurt because you like JJ McCarthy that much? That's sad. You're a sad fan. You shouldn't even be a Viking fan. You saying true? What I'm saying. I guess there's a couple reports saying McCarthy's days are numbered in Minnesota. I had a feeling that he was going to get traded from the moment from the moment we signed Kyler Murray. I had a feeling that we were going to possibly trade JJ McCarthy. If I was JJ McCarthy, I would want to be traded. So it's not me saying that because I don't like JJ McCarthy. If I was JJ McCarthy, I would want to be traded. But hey, listen, what are you going to get back for him? What are you going to get back for him, bro? Like, it's crazy. And look, and I'm going to say this right now, because people say that Kevin O'Connell said teams fail quarterbacks before quarterbacks fail the team or something like that. He said, I look at it like this. Everybody in this live stream made a mistake, right? Have you ever made a mistake or when it comes to a decision? Have you ever made a mistake when it comes to a decision in life? I'm just keeping it real. We all have. I'm not saying that JJ McCarthy is a bust. Never once said that. But I did say, I don't know how this is going to really work because of how he plays at Michigan. And maybe they literally settled and he's the third quarterback off the board that they wanted. Like, he was the third option. Or the fourth option. I have no clue. I doubt he was the first option. I highly doubt he was the first option in that 2024 NFL draft. But everybody has made a mistake. They made a mistake drafting JJ McCarthy that high in the draft. And the reason why I say that is because they did not build this team to match what he does best. They did not build this team to match what he does best. We have the defense. We don't run the ball. We like to air the ball out. So why would you draft a quarterback that doesn't throw the ball 30 times a game? Why would you draft a quarterback that didn't have to do that in college? So I'm just saying, I truly feel like they reached and they could have probably stayed where they were at, didn't have to trade up, And they could have probably still drafted JJ McCarthy. I'm just saying. What's going on, Sam? I get what you're saying. If he's not ready, why waste a 10? Exactly. They had to give him a chance though, because if you draft a quarterback that high, right? And I keep going back to Sam Darnold because it's true, right? It's a true point. He just got you 14 wins. He got you 14 wins. You going from that? You're going from 14 wins to a quarterback that ran your offense, even if you don't like Sammy D. No, he's not a perfect quarterback, but he's still a good quarterback, right? With us. And then you're like, all right, we're going to rock with JJ McCarthy because we don't want to give Sam Darnold the bag. They didn't want to give Sam Darnold the bag. If Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell wanted to do it, they would have made it happen. But since they drafted JJ McCarthy so high up, they're like, man, we got to see what this man can do. But I just don't like the fact that even Kevin O'Connell, everybody was hyping up him in training camp last season, including myself. I got to give myself some blame as well. But I'm going by what I'm hearing from the people that's going to these training camps. And I'm like, all right, from now on, I'm not going to hype up training camp. Either if they do good or bad, I'm not going to hype it up. I'm going to observe preseason a lot closer and, of course, regular season. Training camp is just to get in shape, y'all. That's how I look at it. Get in the football shape. I'm not going to care about a quarterback going 15 for 15 without pads, or they have pads on and they're not going all out. I'm not going to hype it up anymore. I'm not doing it. Most quarterbacks in the day sat 2 to 3 years before it got to start. That's some cases that does happen, but this is the only issue. It depends on the franchise he's getting drafted to. That's another thing that we have to talk about. You know, certain franchises can't afford to sit quarterbacks because they already have a quarterback that's already good playing right now, and they're being proactive. Everybody keeps on bringing up the freaking Packers. They're not a good comparison. They're not a good comparison. I'm going to tell you why. Brett Favre. The reason why they sat Aaron Rodgers for those years is because they still had a Brett Favre. The reason why they sat Jordan Love for those years because they had an Aaron Rodgers. Name quarterbacks that's as good as Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers where we could just afford to sit quarterbacks for 2 to 3 years. We haven't had that. We haven't had that. So that point, I just don't understand why people keep making that point. We didn't have a Brett Favre. We didn't have an Aaron Rodgers. The reason why Aaron Rodgers could sit because they had Brett Favre. The reason why Jordan Love could sit is because they had an Aaron Rodgers. We couldn't afford that because we don't have those bridge quarterbacks. Unless we just suck. We just get a bridge quarterback that's not that good, which the Vikings don't do. They didn't do it with JJ McCarthy. They had a bridge quarterback for a year. Listen, I get it. We pushed it from 1 year sitting because he did sit 1 year because of injury. Now we're pushing it to 2 to 3. I get it because he wasn't good in his second year. So what if we did let him sit for a whole second year and he came back his third year and he was horrible? Then what are people going to say? Or what if we let him sit for 3 years? He comes back his fourth year and he doesn't show enough. You're not going to pick up his fifth year option. I mean, come on, man. Like, how many years you going to have him sit? It's not like he don't have no talent on this team. Where we're going to be a first overall. We're like we're going to be a team to be the first overall pick. The Vikings are not going to be the first overall pick. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Our defense alone is too freaking good. So it's like, I hate that comparison with the whole Packers. They're not a good comparison. They're not. What you going to have, Nick Mullins? Well, we did have Kirk Cousins, but we didn't want to keep him because we didn't want to pay him, which I understand. Who are you going to have as the bridge quarterback for 2 to 3 years? But the problem, the biggest problem, is when he sat that year behind Sam Darnold and he came back in 2025 season And he kept getting hurt. I'll say that. Play calling, the offensive line, et cetera, right? But he did have some bad passes. He had some great passes that were dropped. I get it. Right? But the injuries keep on happening. It's alarming. Viking fans should be alarmed about that. But the thing about it, what tops it all off, is you had Sam Darnold go to a whole nother team and win 14 games. Back-to-back 14-win seasons with two different franchises. And the next season, and he actually won the Super Bowl this season after he just won 14 games with your franchise. That's what makes it bad. So the ownership hit the panic button and said, I don't give two craps about what just happened this season. It has to change. Kwesi, you're fired. Other coaches are fired. And Kevin O'Connell, you're next. Make something happen. No. People called him the GOAT. I think, Sarah, I'm not making this up. Some of the comments on the Minnesota Viking channel, the YouTube channel, Minnesota Vikings, somebody said, JJ, look, he threw a pass to, he threw a pass to the fans or whatever. I think that was a video. He was throwing passes, autographs to the fans. And then and someone was, they was like, oh, that's my quarterback. He's the GOAT. I'm like, what? I said, hey, listen, bro. Like, I ain't say nothing to him, but I'm like, bro, like, if he's the GOAT, we're in trouble, bro. He's not the GOAT. He's not the greatest Viking quarterback of all time. So how is he the GOAT? And I know they're just talking, but I'm just saying how drastic it goes both ways. You got the love for JJ, then you got the hate for JJ. You got the love for Kyler Murray, then you got the hate for Kyler Murray. But they're not having full context, like when it comes to both situations. With JJ McCarthy, I think the biggest reason why he hasn't been good with the Vikings is because of injuries. That's my opinion. Of course, the offensive line, of course, the play calling, of course, not running the ball. But it really comes down to those injuries. When it comes to Kyler Murray, I can't really speak on Kyler Murray because he never played for the Vikings yet. But from what I know, how he was playing, what he did with the Cardinals, he didn't have a good offensive line, of course. Their defense was horrible most of his career with the Cardinals. The play calling, it's just the same stuff, bro. Same excuses, bro. Same excuses. So, but even with all that, he still was making the Pro Bowl. And I know people are going to say, well, the Pro Bowl's not impressive. I can guarantee you this. If JJ McCarthy would have made the Pro Bowl last year, nobody would have said anything about, oh, the Pro Bowl's not good. They would have called him the GOAT. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you, if he would have made the Pro Bowl. Yeah, that's true. Sarah, funny. Not to be argumentative, but wasn't Mahomes drafted around 10? Well, Mahomes didn't start right away, though. What you mean, bro? Mahomes didn't start right away, though. Didn't he sit like 2 years or a year? Didn't Mahomes sit like a year? I know he at least sat 1 year. He sat a year, right? Didn't Mahomes sit like a year? Correct. Help me in the comments, y'all. Didn't Patrick Mahomes sit at least 1 year? Or two? Possibly even two. Most of the hype and excitement came from Michigan fans who jumped on the Vikings because McCarthy watch and see. Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. I think the hype is that. I do agree. But I also agree because he won a national championship. I think the hype behind that championship is like, all right, he's a champion, so he knows how to win. You know what I mean? That's big time. I ain't taking that. I'm not taking that away from JJ McCarthy. I'm not taking that away from him, but it's a team sport, man. But the quarterbacks get the most love when they win, and they get the most blame when they lose. Whether it's fair or unfair, that's the position that he plays. So since that's the position that he plays, he got to take the good with the bad. It is what it is. Our defense was our offense, much as they stayed on. Exactly. I feel so bad for our defense last year. I don't know how our defense was that good. I don't know how we finished top 3 defense in total defense. How? How? With our offense went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Turnover, turnover. Punt, 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 punt. Turnover, turnover. 3 and out, 3 and out. It was horrible. And then it was like and then it would be like the fourth quarter. Oh, we're gonna make a comeback. We'll get a field goal or something. It's like, it was horrible. He was drafted 10. JJ is a China doll. Don't look at the draft position number. Look at the fact that he was the 5th. All right, and you're making my point, T-Bass. When I said, not even just, the 5th quarterback picked, but even I say, when it comes to drafting a quarterback, if he is not your second option, you got to at least have 2 options at quarterback. You got to have 2 options at quarterback. If he's not your second option, do not draft him. If JJ McCarthy was their second option, I don't know what their draft board looked like. I don't think anybody knows what their draft board looked like, T-Bass. So, I don't know. But what I will say is I don't believe he was the second option. I don't even know if he was the 3rd option. I truly believe it was Caleb Williams, which not even Caleb, because Caleb wasn't going to. It was Drake May, number 1, and it could have been Michael Penix. It could have been Michael Penix. I don't know. I'm not saying that would have been a mistake. He probably could have ran this offense good because he likes to sling the ball. I get it. We don't know. He got drafted by the wrong team, the Falcons. But what I'm saying is when you draft probably your 3rd option at quarterback or your 4th option, and that's a good point. He was the 5th quarterback off the board, or the 4th, whatever it was. Because it was Caleb, Drake, it was Jaden Daniels. Caleb, Jaden, Drake May, Mike. He was you're right. He was the 5th quarterback off the board. You're 100% correct. So yeah, bro, that's a valid point, bro. If he's not your if he ain't the 2nd quarterback off the board, or he's not your 2nd option, because maybe he's the 5th quarterback off the board, but he's your 2nd option at quarterback. There's a lot of times where people draft these quarterbacks so high, and they're not gonna be the best out of the group. You know what I mean? But I will admit, I think the Bo Nix would have been good with this team. I think, of course, Drake May. I think Caleb would have been good. I think Jaden Daniels would have been good. I think that draft had a lot of good quarterbacks off, like, in that draft, bro. And I'm not saying JJ ain't going to be good one day. He just might not be good for the Vikings. I'm just going to keep it real. But 5th quarterback off the board, that's kind of makes you nervous, right? That kind of makes you nervous if he's the 5th quarterback off the board. And then as soon as and just because we drafted him high, well, he should be the starting quarterback no matter what. Why should he? It's not like he didn't have an opportunity. It's because he keeps getting hurt. That's what's messing up his opportunity. We wouldn't even be talking about this if it wasn't for the injuries. I'm not blaming him, but I'm just being honest. If he didn't get hurt, he would be the starting quarterback right now. Straight up. Comparing Mahomes to McCarthy is diabolical. Hey, listen, I don't know if they're trying to compare them, like, when it comes to, like, being, like, good. I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're comparing just the number they got drafted. But if they are comparing JJ McCarthy to Mahomes, and I'm not really, like, when it comes to them, maybe they are. When it comes to, Mahomes sat 2 years. That's what JJ McCarthy should have done. Listen, I say this respectfully. I'm not trying to come at JJ McCarthy, but even if he sat 3 years, he's not on Patrick Mahomes' level. Listen, it don't matter. We're talking about one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. We're talking about a guy that won 3 Super Bowls. Come on, man. Like, I hope that's not what people, I think it's because of the number he got drafted. But come on. We can't, I can't take it, man. I can't take this, man. Like, and then I remember when we drafted, I think it was last year. They was comparing him to Peyton Manning. They compared JJ McCarthy to Peyton Manning. It was like, and Josh Allen. Well, Josh Allen threw a lot of interceptions, and he could be just as good. I'm like, oh my gosh, can we not compare JJ McCarthy to Josh Allen and Peyton Manning? Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Can we not do that? Let him make his own name. Y'all got to stop doing that. It's the people that love JJ McCarthy so much, they compare him and they look for other quarterbacks that didn't do good early to compare him to. And if they're good, they compare them. But what about all the quarterbacks that didn't do good early and they suck and they're not good and they didn't make it in the NFL? Well, you don't compare them to them, though, do you? You just compare them to the greatest or the best quarterbacks that's in the game now or that played before, like Peyton Manning. Like, you compared, first of all, Peyton Manning and JJ McCarthy, their games are so different, bro. Their games are way different. Like, come on, bro. And Josh Allen, and I say this respectfully when it comes to JJ McCarthy, Josh Allen is one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the game, bro. There's not many quarterbacks as athletic as Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a freaking... Let me stop, because then people gonna be like, you hating on JJ McCarthy? Why are you hating on him? He's only 23. He's only 23, Mike. Don't hate. I'm not hating. But when you compare him to freaking Peyton Manning, when you compare him to freaking Josh Allen, because you're trying to change the narrative. Well, they threw interceptions their rookie season. So he could be as good as them. I love the positivity. I do love the positivity, but come on, man. Let's let him make his own name. Let him make his own name. And that's what happens when you agree to a certain position going into the draft. You overreach. That's a lot. That's a true statement. And don't forget, it wasn't only the number 10 overall pick. Oh my gosh, why did you have to remind me of that? We traded up. Yeah, we traded up from what? We had 11th or 12th pick. We traded up. Why'd you have to remind me about that? Looking back, hindsight, and we weren't going to be patient about developing a quarterback and letting him sit. We should have used the 10th pick on a different. Exactly. You know what I think we should have done? I think we should have traded for Kyler Murray, or we should have traded for we should have kept Sam Darnold. Shit. And but we don't know. We don't know what would have happened. You know what I mean? We would have just kept Sam Darnold and drafted the best player available at 11 or whatever. So I get it. But say Sam Darnold did go to the Seahawks and we drafted like a defensive end or something at the 10th overall pick. We traded up. Say we make a trade for like a Baker Mayfield. What if we traded for Baker Mayfield? That would have been a freaking... I know people don't like Baker Mayfield for some strange reason. No, he hasn't won a Super Bowl. I don't know how many playoff wins he has, but he will fit this offense perfectly. Perfectly. I'm trying to tell you, one of the biggest arms in the game. He's a risk taker. He's not scared of throwing that ball up in double coverage, which it can be good or bad, depending on who you talk to. That's the quarterback we should have probably went and got. Traded for Baker Mayfield or somebody like that. But the problem is, like you said, hindsight 2020, like, you know, they wanted to draft their guy. But the problem is this. We didn't know Sam Darnold was going to be that good that year. And I think Sam Darnold, with him being successful on another team, that's what rushed the process. That's what rushed the process a little bit more when he won the Super Bowl with another team. If he didn't win the Super Bowl, I'm not saying they wouldn't have done the same thing. It could have been still going for Kyler Murray. I don't know. But I truly feel like since Sam Darnold went to a whole other team and won a Super Bowl, it kind of made the Vikings feel like we have to rush this process a little bit faster. And not even that it's being rushed necessarily. I guess it depends on who you talk to. I feel like JJ McCarthy had opportunities. He just keeps getting hurt. I'm not saying he had enough opportunities, but when you have opportunities with a so-called ready-to-win team right now, the injuries can pile up. You gotta be healthy. You gotta try somehow, some way to stay healthy. Even with a banged up offensive line, he gotta figure a way to be healthy. And that's the same thing with Kyler Murray. He's injury issue. So this can be a Cinderella story. Say we don't trade JJ McCarthy. Kyler Murray looks really good, but he gets hurt. And I don't want this to happen when it comes to him getting hurt. But say he gets hurt. JJ McCarthy comes in, he looks good, gets to the playoffs, and we at the highest level we win a Super Bowl. Like let me just go that delusional, right? Like I'm not gonna say it's delusional. I'm a Viking fan. I just want the best for this team. But I'm just saying that could happen as well. But what I think is gonna happen is Kyler Murray's gonna stay healthy. He's gonna look good. He's gonna be a Pro Bowler. I know it depends on who you talk to. Pro Bowl's not the same like it was. But I'll tell you one thing, like I said earlier in this live stream, if JJ McCarthy was a Pro Bowler last year, everybody would be like, he's the GOAT. Why would you get rid of a Pro Bowl quarterback? They would use that in their argument, right? So even though Pro Bowl doesn't mean it doesn't mean as much like it did back in the day, Kyler Murray did make the Pro Bowl twice. You know what I mean? It's not like he has never been good. And we're gonna see what happens. And got McCarthy in the third. Yeah, we could have probably got McCarthy in the third. This wouldn't even listen, bro. I'm not saying how far he would have dropped. I have no clue everybody's draft board. But I have a feeling that JJ McCarthy was not the first option or the second option or the third option for the Vikings in that draft. And I don't know if I'm correct or wrong necessarily. I just have a hunch. I just have a feeling that the Vikings reached because they had pressure on them by the owners to draft a quarterback. And that's why they traded up, because they're like, oh, we got to get somebody. We got to trade up 1 or 2 spots to get somebody. We can't let them draft everybody. Like, you know what I mean? I would love to know their draft board. And if their draft board ever comes out and it says that JJ McCarthy was the 4th or 5th option at quarterback that they wanted, this organization effed up. I'm going to keep it all the way real. They effed up all the way up, because you never reach for. That's the one position you do not reach for, because it could go real bad, especially when you draft that high up. That is a top 10 pick. You drafted a top 10 pick, and this is crazy. So if we would have drafted Byron Murphy and drafted Spencer Rattler in the 4th round, would have been better shape. Rock Bowers. I agree with you 100%, sir. Yeah, I think we messed up. I wonder what gets me, which I'm disappointed, and I'm not disappointed in all Viking fans. Don't say I'm not disappointed in every Viking fan. I'm disappointed in the Viking fans that want Kyler Murray to get hurt because they want JJ McCarthy to play so bad. I'm very disappointed. Listen, that's crazy, man. You don't cheer for a player on your own team to get hurt because you love a player so much that hasn't proven enough for you to even love him that dang on much as a freaking, like, what did he do to make you feel like he's the GOAT or he's the best quarterback that you have ever seen, that he doesn't need competition, that he should automatically have the job? He has to earn the job. He has to earn it, because at the end of the day, listen, he hasn't proven enough. In those 10 games that he played, it wasn't like he was amazing. It wasn't, and I'm not saying he had to be amazing, but people make it seem like he was amazing. So if he wasn't amazing, and people assume that he's going to be amazing if he, you know what I mean, next year, if he's the starter, how? How do you just assume that? How? But wishing an injury on a player on your own team is crazy work. I never thought I would be saying this. And the other way around, too. If you wish injury on JJ McCarthy, you're not a real Viking fan. You're not a real Viking fan. Honestly speaking, you shouldn't even be a Viking fan. JJ McCarthy would look like under a new coaching staff. Seahawks, Rams, yeah, Packers, which has better coaching staff. Yeah, true. That's why you have to have the correct coaching, bro. That's why I said it depends on who you. It depends on the franchise that drafts. Like for example, Drake May went to a great, historic franchise like the Patriots, right? But I think Drake May, if he would have came to the Vikings, if he got drafted by the Vikings, bro, he'll be amazing with the Vikings. Even with this banged up offensive line, bro, he would have been good with the Vikings. I don't know about us getting to the Super Bowl, but it's a possibility. I'm not saying I can't wait till Kyler Murray gets hurt, but it is a possibility he will. That's why I said I truly believe all 4 quarterbacks will start. Yeah, I'm not saying you're saying that, Mary, but I don't know who said it in the chat. People are wishing injury on Kyler Murray, and I just feel like that's just crazy. I'm very disappointed. Like, they really care about me being disappointed. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm disappointed in some of the fans that want a player on their own team to get hurt, and there is a high possibility that they might all get hurt because they all injury prone. Carson Wentz gets hurt. Kyler Murray, JJ McCarthy. But what I'm gonna say is this: I'm gonna be extra positive when it comes to the injuries this season, and I feel like they're going to stay healthy. I mean, Kyler Murray is going to stay healthy. I personally think Carson Wentz is the best quarterback there right now. Nah. I listen, I like Carson Wentz, what he did for us last year prior to the injury, but I'm cool on Carson Wentz. But I respect your opinion. What's up, Christopher Real? Yeah, Carson Wentz, he was in an MVP conversation a few years ago, but I just feel like nah. He might look good for a few games, but for a whole season, I don't know. Packers have better coaching staff than the Vikings. When the Packers yeah. I'm pretty sure a lot of teams got better coaches when it comes to offense, not defense. Our defensive coaches, I got to do my research on the defensive coaches that we have. Besides the coordinator, Brian Flores, I got to do my research on the defensive coaches that we have right now, because they do a heck of a job with this team. That's one thing I can be really proud of on how this defense really battled. Even when our offense was 3 and out all dang on season, getting field goals all dang on season, our defense did not give up. And my boy Barber had a good point. Even our defense scored sometimes to help the offense do something. You know what I mean? We had our defense do something offensively. Our problem is, damn coach doesn't believe running the ball. That's another thing. Like, I don't know who our running back coach is. I don't know who he is. But I will say this, bro. This run game better be on point. Our head coach better allow this team to run the ball. And if we don't run, I don't care what Kyler Murray's doing next year. We still have to run the ball. Yes, he can move, he can scramble, I get it. You still have to run the freaking ball. The most successful teams, recent history, are teams that run the ball. I'm not just saying it just to say it. I'm not saying it thinking I know everything about football, because I don't. But I know for a fact the most successful teams the last 10 years run the ball successfully. Most of the teams that win the Super Bowl had a very, very good running game in the last 10 years. Most of them. Last year, a running back was the MVP of the Super Bowl. I mean, the Patriots had a top 10 rushing game. They just didn't do good against the Seahawks. But prior to that, the Patriots ran the ball very, very well all season long. So, oh crap, oh, that's a fly. But what I will say is this: we have to run the ball. That's a great point, Sarah. I don't care how many rushing yards Kyler Murray has. You cannot rely on that, because if you're relying on him to rush to get our rushing yards, the quarterback, you're putting him in harm's way for him to get hurt. I don't mind him doing it sometimes, but it can't be your bread and butter. Oh, the only way we get rushing yards is by Kyler Murray. That's gonna our team's gonna fall apart. You have to run the ball. I heard that Aaron Jones is having a good training camp. I'm hearing that Aaron Jones is going to be catching a lot of... I want to see the running back screen. Please, Kevin O'Connell. Because my mindset is this. I think Dalvin Cook got me in this mindset, right? Because when we had Dalvin Cook, that running back screen, was special. It was to the point where we could get touchdowns on a running back screen. And I'm not saying we have to get a touchdown, but I'm just saying it helps. It tricks up the defense, especially if you are running the ball successfully, and you hit them with a screen. You hit them with a screen. Listen, come on, man. Change it up, man. Don't make this rocket science. If it's 3rd and inches, don't go for a touchdown pass. Just get the first down. Run the ball with the fullback. Have your fullback in. Give it to Mason. Give it to Jones or Claiborne. Somebody, probably Mason or Jones, and go get those couple of inches. If we can't get inches, if our offensive line can't get us a couple of inches, we're in trouble. I look at the teams that do it. And I hate to say it, like the Eagles, for example. You got to do it, man. Just get the first down so you have another opportunity to move the ball further down the field to get into scoring range. But if you're just saying, oh, we're just going to go for it all on 3rd down to trick them up, but we're still going to go for it on 4th down, why risk it? Just go get the dang on first down. It's 4th and inches, and then you don't get it because they know you're going to run the ball. Definitely now, possibly. It's like, come on. Chris Farrell in the building. Out to you. Well, I've been on Kevin O'Connell since 2022. Now I see more fans coming around. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell was, at one point, people were like telling me, I don't know, man. People just be weird sometimes with some of these players. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, they fall in love with some of these players and coaches to the point where it's like they can do no wrong. And I've been saying Kevin O'Connell, even with Kirk Cousins. Even when we had Kirk Cousins, bro, like I was like, yo, run the freaking ball, bro. Run the ball. And then with Sam Darnold, run the freaking ball. He doesn't like to run the ball. So that's why this is why I don't understand, why would we draft JJ McCarthy if he won a championship with a run-heavy offense, and you're not even close to being a run-heavy offense. You're not even close to 50-50. I don't even think you're close to 60-40. You're like more like 75-25. 75% of the time you're going to pass. 25% of the time you might run. Like, it's horrible. Like, when it comes to the... And I'm not saying we have to be 50-50, but dang, can we be at least 60-40? Can we be a little bit closer to... Because what makes it so bad about last year is we actually ran the ball successfully. On average per carry, we're averaging like 4 point something a carry, y'all. We just didn't run the ball enough. Why is that? You can't tell me it's because of the offensive line, because the That was a banged up offensive line. We still was running the ball successfully. So what's the excuse? That's coaching. That is coaching right there. That's nothing but coaching. The guy that thinks he's the smartest person in the room, when we're doing trigonometry or algebra 3, he would rather do all these extra steps to get the same answer, and I could just get it in 2 steps. That's what Kevin O'Connell was doing last year. So my whole mindset is like, yo, we got to run the ball, and we can't give up on the run. I know we have wide receivers. I know we have TJ Hockenson and all that. I get it. But you still got to run the ball. And don't run it. Yeah, run it on. Yeah, he would do that. He would do, oh, we don't have a chance to get a first down. It's 3rd and 17. Let's do a run play now. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Because that's disrespectful to JJ McCarthy last year and all the quarterbacks, because you don't even give them a chance to try to get a first down on 3rd and 17. You rather just run it and just punt it, because you know our defense was on point last year. So you rather just punt the ball. And you didn't even give the opportunity for JJ McCarthy or Carson Wentz or Max Brosmer to even do anything. And then the run game helps your team out because you win the time of possession. You also have, if you run the ball successfully, you know, instead of it being 3rd and long or 3rd and 8 or whatever, it could be 3rd and 5 or 3rd and short, 3rd and 2. So that your whole playbook is open. You can either run it, you can pass. But if it's 3rd and long, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to pass the ball to get that first down. So then that means the pass rushers are coming for you. That means the pass rushers are coming for you. So JJ McCarthy is not only injury prone, but he sucked last year and not consistently accurate. Oh, gosh. He wasn't impressive. I ain't going to say he sucked, but he wasn't impressive. But people make it sound like JJ McCarthy was so impressive in his first year playing in the regular season. I'm like, bro, for you to think that he's that good already is crazy. It's crazy. It's okay to like a player, but dang. Like, come on, man. Exactly. Yeah. It's literally the opposite. I said this on my last live stream, y'all. It's literally the opposite of Mike Zimmer. What did Mike Zimmer love to do? Run. Just run all the dang on time. And he'll rarely pass. Right? But when it comes to Kevin O'Connell, he loves to pass. And he don't like to run the freaking ball. So we don't have a balance. I'm not saying it has to be 50-50 exactly. That's like impossible, really. But can it be a little bit like closer on the percentages when it comes to running and passing? It's like, I don't know, man. But it's literally the opposite with both these coaches. Literally the opposite. It's crazy as that sounds. And what makes it worse is our wide receiver core, not even worse. Our wide receiver core is so good. So it's to the point where he's like, oh, I got to throw it now. I got to throw it. Now, you don't got to throw it all the time, though, bro. You got to throw it, but you don't got to throw it all the time. That isn't the narrative for most Vikings fans. That's Jordan Love sucks, and the Packers overpaid him. Oh, dang. I think J Love is way too inconsistent. I think he is overpaid. So why compare McCarthy to a guy that we don't think is good anyway? I think they compare him. I don't think they're necessarily comparing him to Jordan Love specifically. I think they're only saying the narrative with the Green Bay Packers, how they let their quarterback sit. You know what I mean? I don't think that's what they're doing. I think it's more like, all right, the Packers let their quarterback sit 2 to 3 years. Why can't the Vikings do it? I'm not comparing him to none of the quarterbacks of the Packers. I'm just saying that's the comparison a lot of Viking fans use is, well, the Pack, and I keep saying that's not a good comparison because we didn't have a Brett Favre. We didn't have an Aaron Rodgers. The reason why they was able to sit Aaron Rodgers was because Brett Favre was still good at the time. The reason why they got to sit Jordan Love is because Aaron Rodgers was still good at the time. Like, we're talking about all-time great quarterbacks that's going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's easier to sit a quarterback if you got a quarterback that's in front of him that is a Hall of Famer. We don't I say this respectfully because I'm a Viking fan. I love my Vikings. We don't have no quarterbacks that are Hall of Famers. Not that many. I'm talking about recent quarterbacks. Recent quarterbacks. Can you name in the last 10 seasons of quarterbacks that were Hall of Famers that you could sit a quarterback behind? I'm pretty sure you can't. I'm pretty sure you can't. There's only one quarterback that I can name. I think that was Brett Favre. When did we lose Brett Favre? Well, in 2009, was it 2008 we had Brett Favre? I forgot what year it was. But he the only Hall of Fame quarterback. And at the time, we didn't draft. Did we draft someone to sit behind him? I don't think we did. I don't know. I don't remember. But I'm just saying, my point is, we don't have Hall of Fame quarterbacks to sit a young quarterback behind. And I don't think the Vikings are in the business to just get a bridge quarterback and just sit a quarterback 2 to 3 years so he can develop. I don't think the Vikings will ever have that type of patience to do that. Not saying he's good or he sucks. He's really inconsistent at this point. Every year draft is different. For instance, this upcoming draft is full of a lot of potential good quarterbacks. So I'm betting that several quarterbacks will be drafted after number 10. Just my 2 cents. Yeah, that's true. What I think my bull is saying, and I was even making the point, is it depends on your board, right? Most of the time when it's 5 quarterbacks off the board or 4 quarterbacks off the board, most likely that 5th guy, the guy that you draft, the 5th quarterback off the board, he is not your 3rd or 2nd option most of the times. Maybe I'm wrong. But you could have a draft that's so deep, right, that it could be the 5th option. You might get lucky, but 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't go that route. But I do get your point. For instance, I think Bo Nix is a very good quarterback. I mean, he can make every throw, yeah. He has a good defense behind him. No, he's not airing the ball out like a Drake May and quarterbacks like that. But Bo Nix was, how many quarterbacks was drafted before him? You know what I mean? And he turned out to be great. Turned out not great, but he turned out to be good. A solid quarterback, right? So, I mean, it just depends on your franchise and how your team is built. You don't draft a quarterback that is in a run-heavy offense in college and you don't do the same thing in the professionals. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Like Bo Nix, you can say what you want. Bo Nix was airing that ball out. Bo Nix was airing that ball out. Michael Penix was airing that ball out. Caleb, Jaden, look, Drake, those quarterbacks was airing the ball out. Those quarterbacks were a better fit for the Vikings than JJ McCarthy if you're not going to adapt to what he does best. And not saying that JJ McCarthy can't air the ball out, but you gotta have a run game. Every quarterback needs a run game, but especially a guy that really needs to run. Like I'm not saying he can't. I'm trying to be careful what I say because people get so emotional. You're hating on JJ McCarthy. No, I'm not hating. I'm just being honest. He could throw the ball, right? But he needed a run game. He needed that run game that balance that offense enough so he can be successful. I'll say that. Does that make sense to y'all? Hopefully I'm making sense. I hear people say Jordan Love that 3 years isn't that a comparison. I'm saying he should have set 2 to 3 years, not comparing to J. Love. Whoever said McCarthy is the GOAT is probably in bot just trying to stir up controversy. Yeah, listen, bro. Bro, I'm not making this up, man. I should have screenshotted the dang on freaking comment, bro. JJ McCarthy's the GOAT. He said, I said, Dad, we got some low standards at quarterback in the Vikings. Our standards for quarterback is very low right now, man. I say that respectfully. I ain't trying to come at JJ. I'm just being honest, y'all. If he's the GOAT after 10 games, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. We're in big trouble. I said it the day we drafted McCarthy would be the most divisive player to the Vikings fan base in history, far more than Kirk Cousins. Why do you say that, though? Why? All right, so why did you say that? Why did you say that, though? I didn't think all that. I just didn't think he was the right choice at the time. And he might still be, listen, he might still be the guy for us. I'm just saying right now, he's not the guy right now. He's not the guy right now. He might get another opportunity. I don't know. But my whole thing is this, bro. Like, I just don't like the fact that it's just like he can do no wrong. Like, it's all on the team. It's like everybody else is to blame for him, for what he did wrong. All the things he did good, yes, just give him credit for it. But everything he did bad is like, we gotta make up a lot of excuses. Everything he did bad is always the offensive line. He didn't hold on the ball. He held on the ball too long some of the plays because of the play call. He should have audible. He should have did something else, man. I don't know. But it's always an excuse for JJ McCarthy. Oh, well, the wide receiver dropped the ball. I agree. But what about the ones that he didn't put it on the money and the wide receiver caught the ball? They don't talk about that, though, right? You know what I mean? It's just like, come on. I'm a Vikings fan before a player fan. That's a fact. If they have cheat to win a Super Bowl, then I'm all in. Oh, that's a funny comment. If they have to cheat to win a Super Bowl, then I'm all in. Hey, listen, I ain't mad at you with that comment, bro. I ain't mad at you, bro. We desperate over here, bro. We just trying to win a dang on Super Bowl. We desperate. Kirk Cousins has been the GOAT of Minnesota Vikings quarterbacks lately. We hate it, but no quarterback in Vikings proven to be better than... Oh, my freaking gosh, bro. I will agree Kirk Cousins was a good quarterback. But I got to get away from this Kirk Cousins. We need... No. We got to take that... Sam Darnold's the best quarterback we had in a long time, bro. We got to get past Kirk Cousins. We got to get past Kirk Cousins. If you're talking about longevity, how long he's been with the Vikings, okay. But in that 1 year, Sam Darnold showed me more than what Kirk Cousins did. I don't care. That's how I feel, bro. Sam Darnold was the best quarterback we had in a long time. And I want to change that narrative as well because Sam Darnold is no longer a Viking. He's a Seahawk now. And I need Kirk Cousins. I need not Kirk Cousins. See, now you got Kirk Cousins on my mind. I need Kyler Murray or JJ McCarthy or whoever it is to take over so we can stop talking about Kirk Cousins. We got to get away from Kirk Cousins, y'all. It even got to the point that people wanted Kirk Cousins to come back. That's how desperate we are, y'all. It got to the point we wanted Kirk Cousins to come back during last year. Man, I can't take this no more, man. This quarterback situation got me irritated, bro. Because it's like, dang, we can't get away from Kirk Cousins no matter what we do. It's funny how most Viking fans loved Kevin O'Connell before JJ McCarthy arrived. I'm already ready to trade Jefferson for picks. Hey, listen. I'm going to keep it real with you, y'all. They not trading Jefferson unless he asks for a trade. But I get all y'all. I get y'all what y'all saying. I get it. Get what you can get now because his value is so high. I get it. But the Vikings will never do it, y'all. Unless he asks for a trade. So I get it. It's a great conversation to have. I don't really necessarily want to trade Justin Jefferson. Don't want to do it. But if you feel like you ain't going to compete for the next couple years, you might as well. But since they feel like they can compete, they're not going to do it. Also, I'm not even going to bring it up. I can't bring it up. Rebuild correctly. We are a mess, and a wide receiver ain't going to save us. I don't think we're as bad as what you think, though. Because you got to remember, we still have a very good defense. We're not far. It's just we don't know what our quarterback situation is going to be. I don't think we're that much of a mess. Anytime you have a top 3 defense, you ain't that dang on bad. But when you have a 28th offense, you got an issue if your coach is an offensive-minded head coach. I don't think we're that far off. A team is never going to be perfect. You're always going to have flaws. It's about your superstars doing enough to overcome them flaws. And usually that's going to be a defensive player like a Myles Garrett or an offensive player like a good quarterback like Josh Allen or something like that. Until we find that guy at quarterback, we're close, but we're not there yet. We got to get that quarterback. And I feel like our defense is just so good right now. Our defense, we have Brian Flores, one of the best defensive-minded guys in the NFL. We can't waste listen, because as soon as he leaves to be a head coach, we don't know how this defense is going to be. I say that respectfully. We got to do whatever it takes right now while we have a good defensive-minded not even head coach. He should probably be the head coach, but he ain't the head coach right now. While we have Brian Flores, we need to try to do what we have to do. We're not far off. We just can't have a bad offense like last year. Last year was embarrassing. We're not far off. It's not like our whole team is bad. Our offensive line was banged up. It's really coaching and quarterback. Coaching offensively and quarterback. Is Kyler Murray going to be good enough to run this offense? Is Kevin O'Connell going to be good enough to coach this team and of course, the offense? Is the offensive line going to be able to hold up? It's questions, but we're not far off. We were only a game away from the playoffs with a 28th ranked offense. We still have a good defense. Will it be top 3? I don't believe it's going to be top 3 again. I think it's going to be top 10, not top 3. But we're not that far off. We can still compete with anybody if we can get a guy that can run this offense and that can challenge Kevin O'Connell and be like, hey, listen, I'm audible and out of this stupid behind play. That's why we didn't get Aaron Rodgers last year. JJ McCarthy could have sat behind for one more year. But the reason why I feel like we didn't get Aaron Rodgers is because they know Aaron Rodgers ain't going to do he going to call audible, bro. He not scared of none of these coaches out here, bro. He's going to call audible. If he thinks that the play is not going to work, you think Aaron Rodgers is going to still run that play? Aaron Rodgers would have audibled right out of that play. See, JJ McCarthy is in his first year starting. He's going to trust his coach and do whatever his coach says. Aaron Rodgers was never going to just, all right, whatever you say, I'm going to do. No, if it's a 3rd and inches and Kevin O'Connell wants to go for a touchdown pass, I could almost guarantee Aaron Rodgers would have audible and he would have ran the ball and we would have got that first down and moved the sticks and we had more plays so we can get closer to get a touchdown. See, Kevin O'Connell didn't want that. That is the biggest reason why we didn't get Aaron Rodgers. I truly believe it. I don't know if that's a fact, but the reason why Aaron Rodgers didn't come to the Vikings last year was because of that. Because you realize, right? It took so long until Aaron Rodgers signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He wanted to go to the Vikings so freaking bad. But the reason why I really feel like Kevin O'Connell said, I can't deal with him doing his own thing, because his ego was too big. That's just my opinion. That's just my observation. I might be wrong, but I think that was part of the reason why. Everybody that said, oh, I don't want Aaron Rodgers could have probably been the best thing for us last year. Give JJ McCarthy one more year to sit, and who knows what could have happened with the Vikings last year with a top 3 defense. Even though our offensive line was horrible. Sam Darnold was good for the Vikings, but he don't have playoff wins as a Vikings quarterback. Kirk Cousins has oh gosh. I get it. Danger, that's where we are at. No, Sarah, I'm trying to get Sarah to be a little bit more positive with the team. Like, our defense is not our deep. We don't have a complete trash can of a team. We have a very, very good defense, and our defense has a little bit of old mixed in with a lot of young. We have a better defensive line, in my honest opinion, with Caleb Banks and Big Citrus. What the heck just bounced off my dang on head? I don't know what that was off that dang on tree. But anyway, yeah, our defense is good. Our defense is really good. It's our offense. It's our offense. I was ready several years ago before he signed a big contract again. I can't. Got his one. Nah, it's just not going to happen, bro. Like, I get what you're saying. They're not going to trade Justin Jefferson unless he requests, and they feel like they have a chance to compete, so they're not going to get rid of their face of the franchise as a wide receiver right now, right? Who's the biggest name for the Vikings? It's Justin Jefferson. They're not going to trade Justin Jefferson when they feel like they can compete. Even if Viking fans feel like we have no chance, the ownership and the ownership feels like we do, I guess. I don't know. Mike, just come to New England. Robert Kraft going to send you his plane tonight. What's up, bro? Everybody better hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We going live for every Viking game this year, y'all. We going live for every Viking game this year, not preseason, but regular season and playoffs, because the Vikings will be in the playoffs this year. I didn't stutter. The Vikings will be in the playoffs this year. I will be live for every single Minnesota Viking game with the scoreboard and everything. And whether you're a Viking fan or not, consider subscribing. This is one YouTube family. Sports are designed to bring us together, not separate us. Not anti anybody. I'm pro any quarterback who can get us to the play. Facts. Hey, listen. Accent. I hope I said your name right. I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%, bro. And I feel like Kyler Murray's the better quarterback right now. And I feel like he's going to be good this year. I could be wrong. But I could be right. We're going to see. We are not a team that is a wide receiver away from winning the Super Bowl. Honestly speaking, we're a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl, in my opinion. My only fear is we wouldn't know what to do with the 3 first. Oh my gosh. Yo, that would be the craziest thing, right? Say we get 3 first-round picks and we draft all duds. We draft all terrible players, bro. That would be the suckiest thing that could ever happen to the Vikings, bro. Skull. I was the one saying trade Justin Jefferson trade for Myles Garrett. They're not doing it, bro. I get it. I love Myles Garrett. You're not going to get 3 first-round picks for Jefferson. I would settle for a first and a second. Whew. I need a first in 2 seconds. I need a first in 3 seconds, or 2 seconds and a third. I think we are an elite quarterback away from winning. Yeah, I don't think we're that far off. Like, we have a freaking great defense. Now you have a great point, Sarah. If our defense was ranked number 20, if our defense was like last year's offense, like I'm talking about horrible, and they was giving up touchdowns all the dang on time, and we was ranked like 28th, I'm with you 100%. But since I've seen how good this defense was fighting with under Brian Flores as a coach last year, and I feel like the defense got even better talent this year. They got Hargrave was horrible. People forget how bad Hargrave was. Hargrave, Jonathan Allen, both of our defensive tackles were absolutely horrible last year. They were horrible last year, y'all. They were absolutely horrible. And we replaced it with a younger and more talented players. Hopefully, right? Have a steady starting quarterback. No sense in keep. We gonna have it though. We might have it. It could be Kyler Murray. It could be JJ McCarthy. We just gonna have to wait at least another year. See what happens this year. Why I gotta be the positive person in this live stream right now, man? I'm not supposed to be this dang on positive and optimistic, man. But I feel like we're not that far off. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm not saying he's gonna be Sam Darnold, but I said the same thing everybody's saying about Kyler Murray, he isn't good and all that. I was saying about Sam Darnold. I was like, oh, he ain't good. Why would we get him? Right? And his resume wasn't as good as Kyler Murray's resume at that time when he came to the Vikings. And Sam Darnold had a great season and he turned his whole career around with the Vikings. Maybe Kyler Murray could do that with the Vikings as well. I don't know. You know what I mean? They can. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, sir. I believe Browns would have to for Miles Garrett, but we'll never know. Yeah, that's true. What's up, bro? Ryan, what's good? JJ failed experiment is crazy. Kyler is short-term choice. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. He might be a long-term choice. I thought Sam Darnold was a short-term choice, and he should have been the long-term choice. We messed up. So I'm just saying. I'm trying to be optimistic here, y'all. We got to see what happens. We gotta let it play out. JJ McCarthy might come back and look good. Who knows? Who cares what you can get trade for McCarthy? Just move on. I get it, I get it, bro. Kyler, they've been screaming forever. He too short to play quarterback. Can't even see over the alignment. Hey, listen, I get it, but he still was a decent quarterback with the Cardinals. No, he never won a playoff game. He wasn't a Pro Bowl. He wasn't a Pro Bowl twice. I'm just saying. He had some pretty darn good seasons. And on top of that, and I'm not to bring in JJ McCarthy, but there was a lot of times JJ McCarthy's pass got deflected off got batted down at the line of scrimmage. It happens. I know it happens more for probably a short quarterback, but I mean, it happens. He's gonna have to adapt to it. I don't know. How is he able to get to the Pro Bowl twice, being this short? How is he able to throw 25 plus touchdowns and rush for how many touchdowns if he's that short? You know what I mean? He must got some type of talent to be the first overall pick in a draft a few years ago. I'm just saying, he got to find a way. We going to be all right. I think so. I'm going to be positive about it. I think Kyler Murray going to have a Pro Bowl season, and we're going to get to the playoffs, and we'll see what happens when we get to the playoffs. You know, if we get to the playoffs, we win in the Super Bowl. I don't care what nobody says. I said it. When the Vikings make it to the playoffs, we're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't care. That's how I feel. I wanted to see one more year of JJ McCarthy before I said it. Okay, flush bro down the drain and send him off elsewhere. Hey, listen, not when you fire the GM, not when you fire some coaches on some of the coaches, not when you see Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl. The process got extra rushed when that happened, bro. Not when your head coach says, I had to simplify my offense for my quarterbacks. Throwing the quarterbacks under the bus because he's like, yo, they can't even run my dang on offense. I gotta simplify it for them to run it. That's the head coach. You know what I mean? I don't care to keep McCarthy another year, but I want them to draft a kid this year. Most of the Vikings, shout out to Chris Burrell. Yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are going live for every Viking game with the scoreboard and everything. Whether you're a Viking fan or not, you're welcome to the YouTube family. Sports are designed to bring us together, not separate us, and I truly feel that way. Most Viking fans are like the owners, and they are scared to the total rebuild and being really bad for a few years. Yeah, I get it, but what if you're really bad for a few years and you stay bad? I'm just saying, I look at it like this. We're not that far off. Like, we have, people are making it seem like our whole team was trash last year. Our whole team was not trash last year. We had one of the best defenses in the game last year. So we're going to y'all want to just so we're going to suck on purpose, trade all of our defensive players that were good last year, do a total rebuild, and what if our defense doesn't become as good as it is? And you're not going to have Brian Flores no more, right? So then what? Then what? He said tear it all down. By year 3, you can tell with the high draft pick is going to be good or not. Give excuse quarterback. Man, listen, bro. They trying to say we should have sat him for 3 years. That's what they saying we should have did with JJ McCarthy. I'm saying you're not doing that when your job is on the line. No. His job wasn't on the line at that point. You're not doing it when you let Sam Darnold go. Who was going to start last year? Carson Wentz. Was you going to start Carson Wentz? Was you going to start? Who was you going to start? Max Brosmer? They made it from the very beginning that it was JJ McCarthy's job last year. Training camp, they were hyping up. Bro, y'all know what it is. I don't even got to repeat it. Y'all know what it was last year. They said that he was the starter from the very beginning. There was no competition last year, especially since Sam Darnold signed with the Seahawks. It was a wrap, bro. So they was going to start him. But I get the point. Sit him 3 years. But still, I just feel like you're wasting other players' prime. All right, let's get rid of Justin Jefferson. Let's get rid of Christian Darrisaw. Let's get rid of Brian O'Neill. Okay. Let's get rid of Andrew Van Ginkel, of course. We got rid of Jonathan Gennard. Get rid of Blake Cashman. That's cool. Who was the best? Harrison Smith can retire, right? Who's a veteran on the defense? The defense is pretty young. You don't need Eric Wilson. Just have all young players. The whole old line, all the old heads that are considered old in football years. Like I said, the tackles. We do have Will Fries. We didn't even need to sign Will Fries. We could have just used that money for somebody else. But then you're risking just sucking for a long time. Not just sucking for 3 years. You're risking sucking for way longer than that. Once you start losing on purpose by getting rid of everybody. Okay, a couple of players, cool. But when you have a top 3 defense, that's not a rebuild type of team. A top 3 defense is not considered a rebuild team. Rebuild in certain areas, I agree, but not the whole team. I don't agree with that. Yeah, Mahomes sat at least 1 year. Yeah, he sat 1 year. But I don't even want to put Patrick Mahomes in the conversation, bro. And the only reason why, because I don't want people to be like, oh, well, he ain't nowhere. Because I already know what I'm trying not to go that route. Because I know people do think JJ McCarthy's the GOAT already. I already know that. But I know he's not. But people already got him as the GOAT. So I'm trying not to go that route and compare him to Patrick Mahomes or any of these other great quarterbacks. We will be freaking lucky. You know what's so crazy? And I'm going to ask this question. Because there are a lot of JJ McCarthy fans that no matter what, he could do no wrong, and it's cool. If Patrick Mahomes was to say, I want to be a Viking, but y'all have to give us JJ McCarthy. Patrick Mahomes for JJ McCarthy right now. I could guarantee you some of these JJ McCarthy fans will say, I don't want Patrick Mahomes. He's too old. He's not good enough. He didn't win a Super Bowl in how many years? He's not good anymore. I could almost guarantee you they would probably say that, y'all. It's horrible right now at this point. They would never get rid of they think JJ McCarthy could do no wrong. And just because you're in your 30s does not mean you can't be a good quarterback for another 5 years if you can stay healthy. Or another 7 years if you can stay healthy. It depends if you stay healthy or not. It depends on your offense. Listen, I'm just saying. It wasn't Ryan Leaf or Jamarcus Russell. Vikings are in a good spot. They can. Man, they're not doing that. Unless this year falls apart, they're not drafting a quarterback. You might be right. Spencer Rattler could have been better, but the problem is this. They want JJ McCarthy. And they traded up to get JJ McCarthy, like you said. So Spencer Rattler was now on the list, bro. Yeah. If he does good, I'm going to tell you this right now. The Vikings will pay him next year. If he does good, I'm talking about Pro Bowl year. They get to the playoffs. They get to the NFC Championship game or something crazy like that. They're going to pay him because they're going to be like, we can't let another quarterback get away. They're going to pay him. So, listen, I would love to draft a quarterback, but not with the coaching staff that we have. Unless Brian Flores is the head coach of the Vikings, I don't want to draft a quarterback in the first round this upcoming draft. Why would you risk that with Kevin O'Connell? You might as well not do that. You might as well just fire Kevin O'Connell. You might as well. Why even put yourself? Why put us in that situation? If Brian Flores isn't the head coach, hypothetically speaking, I don't want to draft a quarterback in the first round next year because I know Kevin O'Connell he don't really rock with the young quarterbacks. Maybe he would have rocked with Drake May. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I'm just saying, from history would tell us that he's not really for the young quarterbacks right now. Oh, yeah, hit the like button, y'all. I bet McCarthy will still be there at 11th pick. Probably would have. Shout out to Barber. Appreciate you, bro. Mike really want to be a Pats fan. Hey, listen, I like Drake May, but I don't want to be a Pats fan. Drake May should have been a Viking. He shouldn't have been a Patriots. He should have never got drafted by the Patriots. Y'all should have traded that 3rd overall pick, and the Vikings should have drafted Drake May, and we wouldn't even have this conversation right now, bro. For real talk, y'all messed up. Y'all should have gave us the trade, man. I forever would want to destroy the Patriots. Every time we play the Patriots, good luck. Good luck. Y'all going down. Even if Sam stayed here, we wouldn't have won a Super Bowl because we don't run the ball. Hey, Sarah, you got a great point. You got a great point. But the difference between a Sam Darnold and a JJ McCarthy is Sam Darnold has a little bit more. He has more experience and he can audible out of stupid plays. JJ McCarthy, no matter what, he most likely gonna run that dang on play, bro. Sarah, he gonna run that play. I hope Kyler Murray is gonna do audibles out of the stupid plays. With a healthy O-line this year, Kyler should be fine. Yeah, Kyler gonna be good. I'm trying to keep it real with y'all, man. I know people don't want to hear it. They don't like Kyler Murray because they love JJ McCarthy so much. Or they just don't like Kyler Murray because what they heard about him with the Cardinals. I don't understand it. Who cares what he did with the Cardinals? What the heck is that? Who cares what he did with the Cardinals? Let's talk about what he's going to do with the Vikings. McCarthy, quarterback. I don't know if he can win. If he can win it with the Browns, go ahead, try it. But I do hear our run game looks good. Yeah, but you gotta utilize it. Hopefully exactly. Hey Sarah, it was good last year. Our run game was good last year. We just didn't run the ball. We didn't run the ball enough. Frank Smith has changed our run game thing for him. Yeah. Hey, yeah, you don't got to delete his messages, but yeah, Madden, you got to keep it PG a little bit, brother. Keep it PG, man. You're entitled to your own opinion, but keep it PG with the language, bro. I'm not sure. How did they reach? Well, I feel like they reached because he doesn't run the type of offense that Kevin O'Connell wants to run. I don't know how difficult that is. Like, respectfully, how is that difficult to understand? Like, Michigan ran the ball. Look up Michigan's run and pass. Look at the percentages of them running the ball and passing the ball, and then come back to me in the chat, bro. Like, they ran the ball a lot. With the Vikings, they don't run the ball. I don't know what are you not understanding? Like Drake May would have been the perfect quarterback for the Vikings, bro. Drake May was the guy. Packers run the ball. Yeah, Packers do run the ball. Quarterback 5. Skull Vikings. We have a two-headed monster in the backfield. How the caller is if we run the ball. We have a two-headed monster in the backfield now. The backfield. That's if we run the ball. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you don't gotta delete his messages. Mary is literally the same player. Hey, Matt. Hey, Madden, you're entitled to your own opinion. I don't think he's the same player. How can you say that if he's on a whole nother team? That's not true. We have a center that can't snap the ball. We have another thing worried about. Blake Brandel. I'm alive. Yup. Man, I don't know about the center position. I don't know, man. I wanted to draft Jake Slaughter. We didn't do it, but, you know, I don't know what we going to do. Yeah, he's like 6'7". I might have to dig up my shoes for collar. Your platform. They don't want to rebuild. Yeah, don't delete his comment. I want to read his comments. But if he on the center, yeah, center is. Yeah, the center is the weak link once again. Yeah, don't delete his comments. Listen, I got thick skin. A lot of stuff doesn't get to me, and you know, unless he's talking crazy like swearing a lot, because y'all know I don't like the swearing. I'm cool if he talks trash. I'm cool if he talks trash. My problem is we don't even know who the quarterback is for next year. Hey, listen, let's focus on just this season right here, Sarah. 1 year at a time. We can't focus on too far ahead. You know what I mean? It'll drive us crazy if we focus too far ahead. We got to focus on this year, see what happens, and we'll go from there. You know what I mean? What's going on, Apex? What's good? If we are winning with Kyler, I don't think people will complain about his size. Look at how small Drew Brees was. Nobody complained. It's a good point. I can't stand Drew Brees, respectfully, because I don't like how the Saints beat us that bounty gate. It wasn't nothing to do with him, but he was on that team, and I'm still salty about that bounty gate. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm a Saudi Viking fan. That was some bull crap. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We getting Baker next year. I love Baker. I love Baker Mayfield. I've been talking about Baker Mayfield for a minute. If Trent can win a Super Bowl, so can Kyler. Talk that talk, bro. Baker isn't bringing us anywhere either. Madden, why you so negative? Is it because you want JJ McCarthy to be the quarterback? Why are you so negative about every quarterback we name? Baker Mayfield is a heck of a quarterback. He will be excellent. This is just my opinion. Baker Mayfield will be excellent with the Vikings. All right, we'll see. JJ McCarthy won't be a #1 in his career, maybe in Canada or XFL. Dang. Yeah, because the cards. Yeah, because the cards are. Yeah, cards are trash. Why do you feel like? So, all right. Now I know why he's blocking you. You sound crazy, Madden. Like, how do you feel like Kyler Murray's pathetic? So who's good? What, JJ McCarthy? Are you one of the JJ McCarthy people that was saying that he was the GOAT after 10 games? Because it sounded like you making it seem like JJ McCarthy is the answer. Who's the answer? We don't know if Kyler Murray's the answer or not. We don't know, but we don't know if Baker Mayfield could be the answer maybe next year. I don't know. We don't know. But for you to say that none of these quarterbacks are the answer, how do you know if they never played one snap with the Vikings? It doesn't matter the Cardinals are doing what. Who cares what the Cardinals will do? Let the Cardinals pay him so he can go. Who cares? I don't care about that. Just like they thought Sam Darnold was a bust. Just like they thought Sam Darnold was never going to be good. And he turns out to be a very good quarterback. That now he's a Super Bowl champion. You could change your career. You could turn your career around with the right team and the right franchise. Who's the quarterback that you want? Because it seems like every quarterback that you name, you're even talking about Baker Mayfield is not going to do nothing for us. Baker is a good quarterback. Yeah, you're tripping. Yeah, I see why Bob is blocking you. Yeah, keep. Why do you keep? All right, it's the last warning, bro. You got to stop swearing in the comments. You got to stop swearing in the comments, man. You're doing too much. Oh, thank you, Barber. Appreciate you. Wentz with a full offseason might be good. Madden got your yeah, he in his feelings. What's wrong with Bull? Bull tripping. I'm not saying we're winning with Carson. I'm saying have him as bridge and rebuild. Vikings are going to win one playoff game and coast off that for 3 decades. Yeah, man, we got to stop that, man. We gotta get a damn Super Bowl, man. I'm tired of this. I'm done with the competitive rebuild. But what about our defense? Our defense is still good. The last draft looks good for a change. Yeah. Yep, that was bizarre. Do you watch Moss YouTube fishing channel? Oh no, I have to look into that, Sharon. Do you well, I know one thing for sure. A couple easy wins this year. It's going to be a long year for you, bro. We'll be praying for your. Hey, Arch. Your lines are going down, brother. I just wanted to let you know that. You keep that same energy. My brother, I know you a Lions fan. You my brother from another mother. You my brother. But keep that same energy. Because you're yapping. Don't disappear when we go against your Lions and we beat the brakes off of them. Don't disappear. Because you like to disappear. I thought the Lions already forfeited up. Yeah, bro, he tripping. Claiborne going to be a beast. I like that. I like that comment. That's a fact. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the like button when y'all come in. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind people talking. They talk. Just do not swear. I don't care about you talking your talk. You don't have to agree with me. You can disagree with me as much as you want. I don't care if you disagree. But you can disagree and be respectful in the comments. You don't have to agree with everything that I say. I don't want you to agree with everything I say. Just like you don't have to agree with everybody else that's in the chat. But just please do not swear in the comments. I want everybody to feel comfortable on this channel. They can talk, they talk. Even if you don't agree with someone, you don't got to call them out their name. You don't got to call them an idiot. You don't got to call them you don't got to do all that. I know you have a larger vocabulary that you could come up with another word to say about somebody without being disrespectful. You know what I mean? You don't got to say people just because they have an opinion about another player, oh, you're stupid. I feel like the guy that thinks that Baker, my bull, I'm gonna say Madden, he thinks that Baker Mayfield wouldn't do nothing for the Vikings if he was on the team, hypothetically speaking, and I disagree. I think Baker Mayfield is a heck of a quarterback. Then you got people that thinks that JJ McCarthy's the GOAT. I might disagree with that. In 10 games, I'm not saying he's the GOAT. I'm not saying he's a bust. He might get traded. He might not. I say JJ McCarthy has the potential, but the biggest thing for JJ McCarthy is him staying healthy more than anything. Honestly speaking, if I was JJ McCarthy, I would want to be traded. I would want to be traded. That's what I would want. Trade me. This is, you know what I mean? I like JJ, but he keep getting hurt. And I'm not blaming him for his injuries. But for people that say that he's the GOAT and he can do no wrong, like, listen, he had some moments last season. And he had some bad moments last season. That was his rookie season pretty much, right? But at the end of the day, when the GM gets fired, when your head coach is on the hot seat, when the quarterback that you had in 2024 that got you 14 wins a Super Bowl in 2025, and the quarterback that you started to replace Sam Darnold doesn't play more than 10 games, and listen, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You got to bring some competition in. Whether you think it was a competition or not, you got to bring another guy in. If I was JJ McCarthy, I would use this as motivation. I'm not wishing Kyler Murray to have a bad season. I'm not wishing Kyler Murray to get hurt. But what I will say, if I was JJ McCarthy, hypothetically speaking, if Kyler Murray gets hurt, you're the starter. And prove to the world that all the people that doubt me, you're wrong. But I'm not going to sit here and say that he definitely should have been the starter of this year when I personally don't think he's the better quarterback. Jay is under center, play action quarterback. Yeah, hit the like button, y'all. Talk that talk. Yeah, man. Yeah, you got to protect your quarterback if you don't want him to get hurt. Even if you protect your quarterback, he can get hurt. He got hurt his rookie season against the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? He tore his meniscus against the Raiders. Any game, any play, a player can get hurt. And yes, play calling can protect your quarterback. Running the ball can protect your quarterback, so I get it. We didn't do it. Play calling was horrible. But there was some instances that JJ McCarthy was just holding on to the ball when he could have threw the ball away. He could have threw the ball away. There's nothing wrong with throwing the ball away in certain. Listen. You got to do what you got to do. I loved about like last year's Bears as a Viking fan. I'm talking about Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson. I don't know if he coached them up when it comes to throwing the ball away, but there was numerous times when Caleb Williams would get in trouble, and instead of him forcing it, he would throw the ball away. He would buy time with his feet. If he can't find a wide open wide receiver or running back, tight end or whatever, or get some rushing yards with his feet, he's going to throw the ball away. That's what Caleb Williams was doing all last year. That is a sign of a veteran, like veteran quarterbacks have trouble doing that. Veteran quarterbacks have trouble throwing the ball away. They're always trying to make a play. When you can throw the ball away and be like, okay, live to fight another day. You got to do it. You can't hang on to the ball, especially when your offensive line is so banged up. But I get it. I get it. You try to make a play. You're trusting your head coach. I get it. Got to protect your quarterback. Well, you wrong. JJ is a much better quarterback. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I could be wrong, but I don't believe I'm wrong right now. Maybe later in the future he could be better, but right now I don't think he's the better quarterback. I say that respectfully. But let me say this, bro. Thank you, Bob, for blocking him or deleting his messages. I'm gonna try to read some of them before you do that. But thank you again, because he was out of pocket. I don't know what he was doing. He was doing too much, man. People be getting too worked up. He must be and there's nothing wrong with liking JJ McCarthy, but dang, you say every quarterback that we name isn't going to do nothing for us. It's like, what quarterback do you want to play for us? Because it's probably JJ McCarthy, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that opinion, but like I said before, in the 10 games that he did play, and I know there's other reasons why he wasn't as good as he could have probably been, he wasn't impressive. People make it sound like he was the most amazing every single game, every single quarter, every single second. Like I said, in the comments on the Vikings channel, someone called him the GOAT. Someone called him the GOAT. I don't agree with that. But all right, y'all, I'm getting off. And to answer the question of the video, did the Vikings fail JJ McCarthy, or is JJ McCarthy just not good enough yet? I think a little bit of both. And I just feel like JJ McCarthy just needs a little bit more time to get better. And I hope he does get better, whether it's with the Vikings or not. And when it comes to the Vikings as a team, the head coach, Kevin O'Connell, this is your last season if you don't get us somewhere. You better coach this team up. You better run that dang on ball. And if you don't run the ball, best believe you should be fired. You should be fired. Hands down, you should be fired. Everybody, and I mean everybody, knew Murray was going to win the quarterback one job. And JJ had a winning record last year because of that Flores defense. JJ ain't good enough yet. Exactly. People don't want to put full context, Sharon. They be like, Shan. They don't want to have full context. They're like, oh, well, he has a winning record. What you think a number 3 ranked defense is going to do for you when you don't even score more than 21 points a game or whatever it was? You struggle to score. You know what I mean? We struggled to score all year. And I'm like I said, it's not all on JJ McCarthy, but he does have to have some type of responsibility. People try to take all the responsibility off of him, like he's not the quarterback. But when he does good things, oh, it's all JJ McCarthy. You see the throw, you see what he's doing. You got to take the good with the bad. When you're the quarterback, you get the most blame when you shouldn't get the most blame, and you get the most praise when you probably shouldn't get the most praise. But that's just the position that you play. I don't want to say praise, but you get the most credit, I mean, when you probably shouldn't get the most credit. But it's the position that you play. And I was cheering for JJ McCarthy last year. I'm cheering for him now. But right now, he gotta figure it out. He gotta figure it out. Still believe in the long run JJ will be the best quarterback out of the draft class. Oh, that's hard to say, bro. You could be right, but that's hard to say. That is very hard to say, because there's a lot of good quarterbacks in that draft, bro. I ain't gonna sit here and cap. You might be right though, because I'm a Drake May guy. I'm a Caleb Williams guy. Jaden Daniels got to stay healthy. He's very good. Bo Nix is very good. So it's like he got some competition. That was a good draft, man. That was a very good quarterback draft. Rosemary had negative yards passing against the Lions in Christmas, and we still destroyed the Lions. Again, the Flores defense is legit. Yeah. People, like, listen, and this is why and I'm not coming at nobody specifically, but I don't agree with a total rebuild. When people say we should totally rebuild, we have a top 3 defense. We have one of the best defensive-minded coaches in the whole NFL. We don't need a total rebuild. If you want to do some rebuild with this offensive line, with the play calling and all that, yeah, I agree with that. But to say that we need a total rebuild, so forget about the defense. Forget how good this defense is. The defense doesn't matter. Defense don't win championships. Defense don't matter. We just rebuild regardless of how good our defense is. Nah, I'm not going that far. I can't go that far. Our defense was good enough for oh my goodness, if the Patriots had our defense, if the Patriots had a good defense, let's take off if the Bills had our defense, with the offense that the Bills have, and the offense be up and down, man, they probably would have won the dang old Super Bowl last year. They probably would have won a Super Bowl. JJ isn't even in top three of draft class. I was hoping we got Drake May. I'm a Drake May person. I'm a Drake May and Caleb Williams. And Bo Nix. Those are my top 3. But let me let you go, y'all. I want to say have a wonderful day. You know what I mean? God bless to each and every one of y'all. Let me just read these last couple comments. Give Kyler a chance. He's going to exactly. SWD. Give Kyler a chance. Who cares what he did with the Cardinals? And he still was a 2-time Pro Bowler with the Cardinals. The Cardinals, Kyler, I'm going to just put this out here real quick. Kyler Murray never had a top 10 defense. In his whole career with the Cardinals, he never had a top 10 defense. He never had the offensive weapons that he has with the Vikings right now. So, in my opinion, this is the best team that he has ever been on. So let's see how this plays out. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. God bless to y'all. Have a wonderful day. Be safe. And like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're going live for every Viking game with the scoreboard and everything. Whether you're a Viking fan or not, consider subscribing. Man, God bless to y'all, man. God bless to y'all. Man. Gotta go handle some business. All right, Murray gonna thank you, Barber. Murray gonna have more weapons this year than he exactly. Vikings gonna win it. Yo, we have such you can even look it up for yourself. Y'all don't even gotta go by what I'm saying. Look up Kyler Murray's defenses. He had horrible defenses in his career. He never had a top 10 defense. He had probably like a fringe, middle in the pack defense. That was the best he ever had. I just want to just put that out there. But I'm out, y'all. Peace out.